All right, everybody. Welcome to Chicago Hockey Radio post-game shows. Tassos Kirkos in the Buffalo International Airport, Buffalo Niagara International Airport. Lee
Think you're
Grossman.
muted, big dog.
Oh, am I muted? Whoops. Welcome to Chicago Hockey Radio. I think everybody else got that. Maybe they didn't. But if they didn't, me at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport currently. Lee at his home and Justin in his childhood home, I'm assuming as well.
That's right.
Uh, Day after Thanksgiving, Hawks lose to the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota. We all saw this coming, fellas. But how are we feeling? How was the holiday?
Well, you got that right. First of all, it was a good holiday, good Thanksgiving, spending time with family, so that was good. But in regards to this game, yeah, I think we all mentioned this on the Wednesday show. Like it was almost too good to be true against the Stars. Like to be able to play like that for two consecutive games to a team that's had a hard time, from one game to the next, looking like the same club. Did get off to a good start this game, right? We had 2-0 lead, things were rolling. But ever since that the Wild broke through, like, they kind of controlled the rest of this game, right? Got some looks in the end. Some questionable officiating this game, but I'm not going to blame the refs. I think just not a 60-minute effort. I mean, this seems like a game we've watched before this season. Just watching this game and nothing really new here, kind of a snap back to reality. Um, on a positive note, though, I will say I do like these line combos. I like that Luke stuck with them, and I would continue to stick with them. I think we got something here. I think the big positive takeaway from this game is Connor Bedard. I thought he looked so confident today, play of
Yeah,
confidence. He looked like Bedard. I mean, he only had one assist. I thought he deserved way more this game. I thought every time he was out there, you noticed him. I think his line was cooking with him, with Hall and Kersh. I think that's a good trio there, and I'd stick with that going forward. Yeah,
I agree. I think they looked pretty strong. Not obviously the production we wanted to see,
yeah.
but to your point, I just thought Bedard looked more confident everywhere when he was on the puck. He had 4 shots on net today, which is a step up from what he's been doing. So good to see him back in his true form. Um, Obviously, would have been nice to see him score, but he had a couple of nice rips today. Um, but yeah, it's good to see that he's not playing like depressed or scared anymore or frustrated. It's like the monkey's off the back.
I will say, Marc-Andre Fleury continues to own him out. If you guys remember the
Mhm.
It's
shootout in the
true.
preseason last year
Yep.
when he tripped
Yep.
him up, and I don't think he's scoring him since. So Flowers has his number, a former Blackhawks legend as well, and he stays pretty much undefeated in regulation. At least I think he's 5-0-1 this season. So doesn't play often. When he does, he gets the dub. And honestly, I thought he was a big part of why the Wild won this game. When the Hawks
Yeah.
are up 2-0, they had a few chances to go up 3-0. Like we were controlling this game. It's very easy to forget that. Then the Wild scored 2 goals in 17 seconds. I don't think we've ever seen that before as Blackhawks fans, 17 seconds. But that was tough. Then the third goal. Yeah, I mean,
That was soft.
I love Peter Mrazek, and I think maybe he was due for something like that because he's been playing so out of his mind lately. But that was a rough goal. That looked
Yeah.
like a last season Soderblom goal. So yeah, that was tough. And then yeah, we just couldn't break through after that the rest of the game. Yeah, which was tough to see.
How about
Yeah, I
how
think
about Jared Spurgeon turning into Kale McCarr for tonight?
Yeah,
well,
that was interesting. You was yeah,
both
two
those goals were
goals. Yeah,
pretty garbage.
I know.
But Connor Murphy
yeah,
just
Connor.
like
Yeah,
what God, what is he doing,
he had
dude?
a rough night too.
It was
Couple.
so like when I saw it live, I was like, "Did that go off Murphy?" And then when you saw like the slow mo replay, it was like he kicked it in and then whiffed trying to clear it, and it was like, "Oh, that was such an ugly play." And
Yeah.
then yeah, the third goal was just really soft. Which is a shame because I feel like Mrazek was so strong in the first period. He made some
Mm.
unbelievable saves, and then yeah, just a couple of unexcusable goals. Um, so tough to see that, but you would have liked to see them respond late there in the third, but
Mm.
they weren't able to beat Fleury. And Donato could have had a third there. To your
Yeah.
point about Fleury kind of keeping them in that game. Yeah, I think he did, and I think he should be on Team Canada in the Four Nations.
How about Ryan Donato, eh? That's 10 goals now. I think he has almost double the amount of goals as the next guy on this team. So I was watching the pregame show and they asked the question, could Ryan Donato lead this team in goals? And everybody's like, oh, there's hell no. There's no way that'll happen, right? Bedsy will catch him or somebody else. But it's like he proceeds to score 2 more goals in this game. I don't think it's going to happen, right? I think we'll even see if he's still on this Blackhawks team by the end of the season. I think he's definitely a guy at the trade deadline. A lot of teams will be looking at, and the Hawks can get a haul for him. But yeah, I mean, he's been cooking lately, so props to him. I think he just has that finishing ability, right? Want to see more shots, from players in this team. 22 shots today, not enough, especially compared to the Wild. I think they had 30. So, and just throughout the game, getting more chances, right? I thought possession was decent, but just weren't putting the puck on net enough times, especially compared to the Stars game.
Yeah, there was also speaking of getting a haul, Taylor Hall had that one chance from Bedard
Yeah.
where he was basically past Fleury and then he just got shoved down. Would have liked to see him get a shot on there, because that could have changed the entire game. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, we kind of knew that the Dallas game was going to be a bit of a high,
Mm.
but you would have liked to see something a little more than like in the second and third period to blow another 2 goal lead kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I will say this: my boy, I'm being sarcastic and saying this, Brock Faber, not a very good game from him. I mean, he was kind of directly responsible for both of the Hawks' goals. I mean, a bad turnover that led to the first Donato goal. Good assist there by Bertuzzi as well. And the second one, he kind of tipped that one in as well. So I'd say the last year Calder race, I think Bedard won it from that aspect. I guess I'm stuck in last season, but I thought that was pretty amusing. I had to throw that in there just to at least we got that W, right?
Yeah, if only they had Lafreniere instead of Faber, they might have uh, they might have won by a couple more goals.
What could
No,
that
but yeah,
possibly be referencing?
you are right though. Not the best game from him.
Should we do wild talk right now? Because I did want to mention something that I read. I mean, we could talk about it maybe more on Monday's podcast. But because I feel like, man, Monday we're going to have so much to talk about. I mean, the
Yeah.
Rangers and like there's so much juicy stuff for us to dig into on Monday. But um, Marco Rossi, apparently they don't
Hmm.
really see him in Minnesota as a like a long-term kind of guy there, which is interesting because he keeps
Really?
scoring and he looks really good, lately, but I don't know that he's their kind of player and yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Is
I've
that
just
maybe
heard some
because of
things.
Kaprizov? Because they got to extend him, and they probably gonna have to give him whatever the maximum is. Is that maybe the worry there? Because like as a player, I think Rossi would be everything they want, right? He can put the puck in that. He's a skilled player. Why would they not want him in their long-term future?
I don't know.
Huh.
I'm going off something I saw. I'll try and find the rumor, but other than that, I think the Wild are good. They have a lot of guys that like a lot of the who's that guys like Ben Jones in there, and I'm trying to like think of who else I saw in this game that um you know
Eriksson Ek as usual. I mean, we talk about him a little bit, but he's just such a good two-way player, kind of like
yeah,
their mini version of Kopitar, not to the same level, but he's kind of their version of that. Kaprizov. I love that first wild goal. I will say though, the second, third ones were kind of garbage goals. So that first wild goal was absolutely beautiful. That was a tic-tac-toe play that was started by Kaprizov. He's always going to show up, and they just got good role players, right? Like Marcus Johansson, Marcus Foligno, players like that. So. It's definitely strong. They're second in NHL right now. I knew they were up there. I knew they were top five, but second in NHL. It seems like they're definitely, I don't want to say they're overperforming, but it feels like they are. 'Cause
Ryan Hartman too.
I think it's a good team, but I don't know if it's second in NHL good. We'll see how long they stay up there. It's both the Jets as well. But yeah, I mean, they're kind of running this division right now.
yeah, and
I
if they
said it at the
got
beginning
some
of the season.
guys, like Lee said, Ryan Hartman and Freddie Gaudreau going, like that would
Mhm.
be, that would be the thing that would make me a believer in the Minnesota Wild too. I think Hartman's had a better year, but Gaudreau was like terrible last season, and he's
Yeah,
been like just okay this year.
17 points in 17 games for Hartman.
Yeah,
Um, he's
Wow, that's
30
impressive.
now. I mean,
Blackhawks legend.
he's been like for the past few years, he's been like one of their better players. I mean, let's
seven
see.
points, 7 points, not
Yeah,
17 points.
I just said 7 points in 17 games.
Oh, I thought you said
Oh,
17 and
yeah, I thought I
17.
heard that too. I was like,
Oh, sorry.
he's playing better than I thought. What the heck?
No, 7 and 17 games. But I mean, he's had like 21, 22. He had a 65-point year and then dropped down to 37. Then last year he had 45 points. So, I mean, that's a great depth guy to have. Um, I said it at the beginning of the year. I thought that team just roster wise was, stronger than where they finished last year. Um, and so I'm a believer personally. But yeah, I guess it'll come down to like how their goaltending does down the stretch. And then I mean, yeah, that top line, you got Boldy and Kaprizov. Those guys are some dogs. So
Yeah,
um,
I'll be honest. I don't think I gave them enough credit going into the season. I wasn't really sold on them. I think I put them in the same veins. I want to say I even put them in the same like areas like mid like St. Louis Blues area. So that's aging really well. Another great take that's aged by me. So they got good coaching there too. I think Hines just worked really well with that system compared to last year of Evison. So I think that's going well with them. It just they seem to be a unit right now. But how about Matt Boldy? He's such an impressive young player to watch too. Got so much guys like that, just so much talent in that team. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
If
got
Bill
20.
Guerin, if Bill Guerin leaves him off the Team USA roster, that's going to be
There's no way.
no. There's no way.
Yeah, no, he's got to be there. He's got to be there. Yeah,
I don't know, dude. Like I had him on mine, but the thing is, like I had him like fourth line for my team. The Team US, like there are so many guys that are going to be left off that people are going to be pissed about.
I would say Alex Vlasic had assists in this game. I think he had a better game compared to Brock Faber. You know, if they're deciding between that seventh D-man, I think maybe Alex Vlasic, they should pick him instead. Now they're gonna go with Faber instead. I can't really argue with it, but I don't know. I'm just gonna put that out there.
But there's also guys like Werenski and Sanderson. You've got a whole collection of guys that you could make an argument for why they should be in the roster, in the lineup. And same thing with like guys like Keandre Miller, um, just for what he does with Fox on the day to day. I don't know. There's so many options there on defense and the forward group that you almost can't get upset if they go either way, um, because you really could make a case for a lot of these guys.
All right.
Yeah, switching gears here.
I was
I
going to
think
say that's
something.
enough.
Yeah,
That's enough wild talk. Definitely.
I think take it back to the Blackhawks. There was some goaltending news today. Lauren Brossoit, we've been wondering where
Hmm.
he's been. He's out 6 more weeks. I think he's got to get another procedure done. So, yeah, that means we got more Soderblom to look forward to. But to be fair, the way he's looked this season, I don't really think that's. I mean, injuries are always a bad thing, but it's like with Arvid, we get to see him more. But it will present an issue later because I think like 4 more starts, I think becomes waiver eligible. So when Brossoit does come back, the Hawks have a decision to make, right? They got 3 goaltenders. Do they stick with 3 or like what do they do there? Do they make a trade? Because like if they send Soderblom down the way he's been playing, somebody's going to claim him. So and I wouldn't want to lose him right now. So that's an issue for later, 6 weeks down the road. But in the meantime, we do get to see more Arvid. I imagine he probably starts Sunday. I will be there. I will mention that again. So hopefully the Hawks save something on this break for that game. But it is the Blue Jackets, the team at our level. So that does kind of worry me, right? Because we seem to play better against better teams. So we'll see. Hopefully they can put together bounce back win on Sunday.
You
The
think they look?
Broswat,
Oh,
yeah, the Broswat thing is weird because it's like, is he getting re-injured at practice or something? Like, how have the doctors and the medical staff been so wrong about him? I remember at
Yeah,
the beginning of the year, a legit quote from Kyle Davidson. It was because Levshinov was injured and he was injured, and he was like, "Yeah, like Levshinov's looking like the longer end of 2 weeks, where Brossoit's looking on like the shorter end of 2 weeks." And it's like Levshinov's been back for a minute, and this guy Brossoit is like, we just keep hearing, "Not yet, not yet, not yet." Another procedure, 6 more weeks. What? Like, what is going on? That and so it just, I don't know, it's kind of makes Kyle Davidson look bad too, because I mean he's the one who made the move for him in the offseason. He's been injured and he hasn't played a single game for us.
I do think it's pretty funny. They won't say it, but the whole reason they signed Brossoit is because of how bad of a season Soderblom had last season. And here we are. Brossoit hasn't played a game this year, and Soderblom's been even better than Mrazek, who's been playing well this season. So I do think that's pretty funny, and we'll see if that continues. But it's like Soderblom took that signing as motivation. Maybe that's a big part of why he's been playing so much better this season.
I was going to say, do you think they saw how good Soderblom was playing and they were like, "Hey, Laurent, like, what if you took another month off here?
Maybe he goes on a stint, like a
Just give
conditioning
it until
stint
the
down
kid
there.
falls off. Give it until the kid
Yeah,
falls off, right?" No, that
honestly,
probably
yeah.
didn't happen. But
You might be onto something there. I don't know. But I said 6 weeks, so I don't know. That seems like a long time, but you never know. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw I saw something on Twitter about like Soderblom's waiver situation or
yeah,
something.
that's what I just mentioned. Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
I think it's like 4 more games he plays and he becomes eligible for that. So basically, when Brossoit does come back, they can't just send him down without waivers. I think that's, yeah, pretty much what that
Mm.
means. But yeah, how about those wild jerseys? I do think it's pretty funny. I know they're supposed to be like a Minnesota North Stars, callback, but they look more like a Subway uniform to me. I don't know what you guys think about that, but those are pretty interesting.
some Jersey talk. I like the Jersey matchup actually.
You like them? Yeah,
Yeah, I did. I thought it was
yeah.
really nice to look at.
Some very Christmassy matchups the last couple games, right? Hawks Stars, Hawks Wild. So tis the season, makes sense, right? That's pretty funny.
It's the Minnesota North Star esque jerseys for the Wild today.
I can't find this rumor that I was trying to find, but that's okay. Did you guys know? So this is going back to Wednesday. Wanted to shout out Louis Crevier for here for another second. Um, First seventh round pick in the last 5 drafts to score in the NHL.
Really?
So that is from my buddy over at Hockey Worldwide. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. No seventh rounder in the last 5 drafts have scored in the NHL besides our guy Louis Crevier.
Tell you what, watch him on ice. Like he's solid, man. I think the Hawks might have something here. Like, he could be a solid 70 or third pair guy for us. Like I'm not just saying that because of recency bias. Like every time he's up here, like he's impressive, right? You don't always notice him that much, but I mean it's kind of hard not to notice him because of his frame, but like in a good way. I just think he's so solid, doesn't make a lot of mistakes out there. Another guy I thought had a really strong game on defense was Wyatt Kaiser. Back to his
Mhm.
hometown for he played the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and I thought he had a few looks today that buried that first career goal. I was surprised he hadn't this point because I think he's been with us, not 3 full seasons, but he's been like part-time Blackhawk for the last couple of years. I'm surprised he's never had one, but I thought he had a good game, probably his best as a Hawk. Hopefully he can
Mhm.
use that confidence. 'Cause I think he struggled the last few games, so that was good for him to have a good game back there. And the Hawks D, I think, has been holding up without Seth, so that's been good to see. I don't know how sustainable that is because we're still without him for a little while here, but I've been impressed with the Hawks defense without him. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
some
another
ice time talk with the D and also Bedard too, because I've been monitoring his ice time in these games and what
Oh,
that
21
means.
minutes.
And
Wow.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if we want to start with him, I mean, well, the last game it was like 16 minutes. This game you could feel like, and I think we're not getting upset enough about this game actually only because it feels like it was just two things to me. It was a bad 17 seconds. I know the third
Yeah.
goal was tough, but it's Peter Mrazek. You should have expected some more softies here out of him. But the bad 17 seconds cost you the
Yeah.
game, really, truly, number
Hmm.
one. And number two was like the offensive firepower a little bit. And so what I liked was, Wednesday, you're blowing out Dallas, let everybody play. You don't really need to risk anybody being injured. I know Connor Bedard played, a lot in the last little bit of the game, cookie hunting a bit.
Hmm.
But they needed him today. He was going, right? And so it's
Hmm.
like, okay, we're not going to play. I'm looking who played the least, Craig
Lucas
Smith,
Reichel.
Lucas Reichel, Pat Maroon. Yeah, those
I don't
guys didn't play
understand
a
the
lot.
lack of ice time for Reichel, man. I don't get it.
Bertuzzi only played 14:53, which I don't love.
I thought he had a
Um,
good game too. He had another
yeah.
assist. He's been cooking lately. I think 4 assists the last few games. So he's finally. I feel like a lot of these vets are starting to get more comfortable, which is good to see, right? Should help that offense get going. But I think to your point, like it just seeing that offense die the second half of the game. Like I think we have plenty of opportunities to tie this up or get back in it. And just the momentum swings of this team is something they got to figure out. Like, just from one shift, one period to the other, it looks different. I think the 17 seconds, it killed the momentum. The rest of the game, the Wild had it. We
And
couldn't get
then
it back.
the only thing I had to say was, like you had 4 guys, the top 4 all over 20 minutes, which, was that's good, like in my opinion, you want guys like Vlasic and Kaiser playing over 20 minutes a night. I don't know if you really want Connor Murphy and Alec Martinez playing over 20 minutes a night, but you certainly want the younger 2 guys doing it. And then Louis Crevier and TJ Brody. I think it's only, in my opinion, because you're pairing him up with TJ Brody, right?
Yeah.
That you're playing like the Crevier Brody pairing only got 14 minutes compared to the other guys getting all over 20, right? So I don't know if there was a way to maybe smooth that out a little bit, but like I said, it was just a bad 17 seconds, fellas.
That Martinez post or crossbar in the third period was painful. Bedard had a beautiful play to set him up, and it's like Martinez of a shot, and then it's off the post. I was like, oh, that's a difference right there. I mean, how many posts or crossbars has this team hit this season? I don't know if there's a stat that tracks that, but the Hawks have to be up there in the league for most posts hit. I swear, unlucky team. I swear.
I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
might
I
also
could look
just be
that up.
that you're watching them the most.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm home cooking here. Sorry, but another positive note. How about some Bears talk? Matt Eberflus fired today, so I think that's another reason. I think I would be more upset about this loss, but I'm just so happy that Eberflus is gone. Where it's like whatever, and plus I know I'm going to be there Sunday, so I'm expecting a bounce back because the Hawks do tend to do that, right? It's a win loss cycle with this team, but unfortunately with this L, yeah, we're still tied for last with the Predators. We'll see what they do this game. We might have sole possession of last after their game with the Lightning. We'll see what happens there, but not ideal.
Okay, so I'm looking at a website,
Uh-oh.
StatMuse. Okay, the team that, according to StatMuse this season, again, this is not because it seems like a lot. It says that I need to look at this. It says the Ottawa Senators have hit 652 posts in 22 games. So that's not,
No way.
no, that can't
Yeah,
be.
no. That's
Yeah,
gotta
they might
be.
be just really unlucky.
That's almost 30 posts a game. They're not hitting 30 posts a game.
Yeah, no, I don't know how are they tracking that? What's the hitbox for that?
I'm telling you guys, this is stat muse right
How much
here.
is the Hawks?
They're not even in the top
Oh my
25 here,
Okay, yeah,
according to this list.
that's a bunch of nonsense over there. Person tracking that, I think, is Helen Keller or something.
I'm not watching a lot of Sens
Those-
games here, but I don't think they're hitting 30 posts a
Those
game.
posts must be this big.
Yeah, right. I don't think so.
Oh gosh, that's too funny.
It might be. Yeah, I don't know. I give up.
That Muse must be tweaking. Maybe it's like for the past year or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
got to be
might
like
be.
more past beyond this season or something. I would think so.
Well, even 600 posts in a whole 82 game season would be wild too.
Yeah, it would be. I don't even know about that.
No, that would be like 7 or 8 posts a game. Like that would be crazy too.
But what was going on? Not to switch gears to the refs again, more ref talk. But what was the deal there at the end of the game? Like with like they were calling the icing as the as they I think it was Marcus Foligno who scored the empty netter, and they were calling the icing, but then they kind of went back on it, and then the face-off was outside the zone. Like what was up with that? That was really strange. I think that refs in general was kind of not the best officiated game. A few soft calls there, particularly on Connor Murphy late in the game, that took away 2 minutes for the Hawks to potentially tie the game. I just thought it wasn't really the best. I don't know if you guys agree, but not the best game from the Stripes there.
I was pumped about that icing call for the empty net goal because I bet the under and I parlayed it with the prop from the Chiefs game and won like $100. So I was pretty pumped to not see any empty netters there.
You're just thinking about your betting.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That was weird. And then the Donato play was really weird. Like that was such a soft call.
Oh, that
like,
one was worse actually. Yeah.
like he like barely flipped the guy's stick and it went all the way up in the air.
And they
were
missed a call on him right before that,
yeah,
so he was understandably very pissed off.
yeah. They wanted to win for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Hawks haven't won there since 2019, man. I remember when we used to own them back in my day. We owned this team, right? Patrick Kane, the playoffs, 3 consecutive years. I miss those days. We sound like a bunch of unks over here, as Lee would say.
Yeah.
Some of these stats, though, like the takeaways were 10-1 for the Hawks tonight. Block shots were 16-4 for the Hawks tonight. And I know that means that Minnesota had the puck a lot, but that also means that the Hawks got in the lane on a bunch of shots there. I don't know. I thought it was a good game.
That's why Luke Richardson that he'll start getting way too excited.
On the flip
But you
side,
know
the Hawks
what?
were
Like
35% of the dot in the face-offs. They're getting killed there. Yeah.
But to me, it's like that 17 seconds that I was talking about, or whatever, 16, 17 seconds, like that is a coaching thing. Like the fact that you got through the rest of the game and your team played exactly how you want them to play. They're eating pucks. They're, just playing good, like actual dump and chase. Like it just seems like they are playing his way. The lines are working a bit. They're able to create a bit more offense there. Except for 17 seconds, like you couldn't put the hammer down and have them tighten up after the first one went in and then the second one goes in.
Yeah, 2-1 games after those 17 seconds. That lasts longer than that.
Tassos is joining the dark side. It sounds like he's coming over.
He's seeing our vision.
I thought it was a good game. Like I thought it was a really good game, and they executed the game plan. But if you want to critique his coaching, it's not like the other 59 minutes and 44 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's some of this, the really tiny stuff. This is hockey, guys. It takes one bobble of the puck, like one mess up to ruin your season, like that can tank you, right?
The Hawks gotta get better. Hold on to this leads. I mean, I think I brought that stat earlier in the week. Like the Hawks are up there, top half of the league, and like leading games, but they're tied for dead last. So that's something they gotta figure out for sure.
All right, guys. Anything else?
Can
I go catch this flight?
Oh yeah, you can get. Yeah, I don't got much
one
else.
thing?
Say whatever.
The Blackhawks are only 7 points out of a playoff spot.
Big month coming up.
Three plus wins for this team though. That sounds like they're close, but especially this early in the season. But I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
want to.
easier said than done. This is a team that is not very good at stringing
It is
together
strange. I
consecutive
feel like
wins.
this season, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many bad teams in the league this year. Like I feel like so many people are playing poorly. Um, but I think that'll iron itself out as the season goes on, and some of these teams that are mid tier will start playing a little better. But it's like it is crazy to think about that. It's like if you go on a 3 game win streak, all of a sudden you could be like, oh, we're kind of right there, you know?
Well, the Hawks haven't won 3 games in a row for over a year.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I just wanted to sprinkle in
positivity.
some unreasonable optimism for chat,
Some delusion.
some delusion,
I
because
do think we have something here. I think the last few games the Hawks have generally played well. I think we finally found, Richardson's been looking for the right combinations all year. I think we have it right here. Like I wouldn't touch these combos, forward, defense, anything. I keep everything the same. Let's get Sadi in the net. That's the one change I make. Otherwise, I think we have something here. Let's stick with it. Let's ride it out. I think we can get
yep,
something going. Yeah.
I agree. All right, and then we pick up Mikko Rantanen for $14 million,
Hell yeah.
Yes.
which
Speak
we
that into
will which
existence.
we will be talking about on the podcast Monday.
Yes.
Yes. Lot to get to on Monday. All right. Post game show Sunday after the Blue Jackets game. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, please. We saw a bunch of people do it after Wednesday's show, so keep doing it. If you're still home for the holidays, tell the Blackhawks fans in your life, your loved ones, your dad, your uncles, your brother, whatever, your sister,
It's your
whoever.
unks.
Yeah. Get them to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like our pages on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Really helps us a lot. Also follow us on Instagram so you can keep tabs on all the fun stuff. Also, we're going to post the clip of Justin on Instagram. I will do that as soon as I pass through airport security. The clip of you winning the puck shot on the game the day after
Hell
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Do we have a year on that?
2021, 3 years ago.
2021. All right.
3 years ago on this day.
So that clip
Very
will be up.
historic moment. Yeah.
That clip will
Hell
be up
yeah.
on the Chicago Hockey Radio YouTube or on the Instagram. So
Yeah.
subscribe to the YouTube. Thanks to everybody for showing up and showing out. We did it. 2 shows. No Raven. Not having to be in studio. All run off my MacBook. Don't think we had any issues either. So good stuff, boys. Really pumped.
Very
Tough.
nice. Well done. Happy Black Friday to everybody. Thank you all for your support. We will be back Sunday.
Cool. See you Sunday.